Hello, greetings. This is Dr. Owens, and pleased to meet with you today. I want to talk to you about communicating, not just communicating, though, strategically communicating. Once again, this is Dr. James Owens with Dare to Dream Leadership Consulting Firm. And specifically, I want to communicate with you four ways, and when you're speaking strategically, that are very common sense. And these four ways will assist you in helping you to be more strategic in your communication. You know, communication is very important. It's a key element to you getting the next job promotion or expanding your business with potential customers or partnering with others that are perhaps collaborating in a business venture. Communicating strategically causes you to put some thought in your communicating process. And all of us should have a prerequisite or guidelines that we follow as we're communicating to do better business, to expand our business, or build better relationships. Okay, the first skill set in communicating strategically I would like to share with you today is framing. Framing, the term framing. Framing literally means explicitly identifying the purpose for any particular occasion. Okay, it requires putting both one's own and others' perspectives on the table for examination. An element that the writer Tabor says is one of the most often absent in conversations and meetings. Too often, a person in charge simply assumes everyone knows and agrees with the overall objective and proceeds without explicitly identifying such assumptions. Now, this is very important because we cannot assume, we should not assume anything. We should always be implicit and explicit with the details so that everyone has a well-rounded view of what we're talking about. For example, someone might say something like this: since our team recommendations are due next week, I think it's vital that by the end of our meeting today, we reach consensus on a draft version. Okay, that's one thought. At the same time, someone else in the meeting may be questioning whether the team has yet even agreed on a shared understanding of the problem it's supposed to be involved. Okay, framing serves the purpose of creating an explicit understanding of the work or idea to a group in which the person is doing the talk is addressing. So it's important to frame it in a specific context. It's important to be explicit and implicit of what you intend to discuss or talk about. And then this gives the people that are listening or people that you're leading a more detailed, pinpoint, accurate framework of what you are discussing or dealing with. And it gives people a fair opportunity and chance to work around an idea that everyone is knowledgeable about and is in a specific niche or direction in which you are planning to communicate your ideas with. The second one is advocating. Advocating means explicitly asserting an opinion, point of view, or desired course of action. Okay, it occurs when a person says, in effect, here's what I think, or here's what I think we should do. Unfortunately, advocacy has become the dominant and sometimes even sole part of speech for many managers and executives. Perhaps this is because it superficially appears consistent with other seemingly desirable qualities, like openness and self-confidence. It also may seem one's most direct way of influencing events, but as with most other skills, it can be understood as well as overused. For advocacy, so advocating literally means to explicitly assert an opinion, but we don't want to overuse this, okay? It's good to use, it's good to advocate, it's good to be explicit in what you're trying to communicate, but the downside is to abuse it or overuse it, okay? The next illustration of communication I want to share with you is inquiring. Inquiring. What does inquiring mean? Inquiring means is asking others questions in order to learn something from them. Simple as it may sound, effective inquiry is both fairly difficult and uncommon for several reasons. For one thing, when we ask questions others in a too direct manner without context or background, seemingly out of the blue, it can feel like an attack or accusation to other people, or that we have some ulterior purpose in asking the question. Okay, so we must use tact in inquiry. Um, Sometimes it's good to be directed, oftentimes it's not if we don't do it within the right context. Sometimes we must inquire with asking a question. Uh, I think one of the most important elements that a leader can use, or a business partner in a corporation or higher management, is to be genuine. Is to be genuine in your asking. Okay. Uh, Questions that may lead into the questions or the details that you want to ask is questions such as how are you, or you agree, don't you? Inquiry is almost always most effective when it is preceded by framing advocacy and illustration. This helps clarify expectations and assumptions and reduce the likelihood of misunderstanding. Okay, so we want to inquire, and how we inquire is very important. We want to inquire with the right mindset and understand all that are involved, and not be so direct that we are perceived the wrong way. The last and final way that we can communicate is illustrating. Okay, involves telling concrete stories that add vividness and detail to an otherwise abstract or general idea or proposal. The increased clarity, specificity of illustrations help orient and motivate others to behaviors most likely to achieve desired results. Consider this mere advocacy. We've got to help shipments out faster. Listen to this one example. On its own, responses to this call for action might understandably lead to extensive and expensive system-wide process changes. Okay, so consider this alternative. Listen to this alternative. Pacific Systems is our oldest and largest client, and they just received a sizable rush order that will require getting our component to them faster than normal. We need to support them on this. Adding the details of this illustration to the same advocacy will probably lead to a more collaborative and effective orientation and response. Okay, giving more details is super important. Real quick, I want to spit out some suggestions to you, which is just common sense in communicating strategically. Number one, explore with others the strategic implications of alternative images or pictures of your future. Explore with others. There's nothing wrong with teaming up with others. Seems like when you team up with others that has similar concepts, it broadens your mindset and it massages more ideas. Number two, collaborate with others in a collective effort to represent your mission or vision using words or images. You know, imagery is very important. Details, pictures, using picture quests, or using images that paints a picture. Let me get this right. Will give people images in their minds to see what you're talking about. Three, have a dialogue with others about your strategy using stories or metaphors. Stories are very powerful. Metaphors are very powerful. When you're telling a story, people can relate to stories. Perhaps they've gone through the same thing or experienced the same things that you're telling about what you're talking about when you express stories about the topics that you're trying to persuade others or influence. Communicate your strategy using pictures, visual images, or other data displays. This is very important as well. PowerPoint presentations, using charts, things of this nature. Ask questions of others' perspectives during conversations so as to deepen your understanding of their view. And it's very important that you interact with the people that you're speaking to, or the company, or the congregation, or people, or the setting, is that you interact and you ask questions. Well, this time I will close out this short lesson. I know it's pretty short, but I wanted to share this with you, hoping that these strategic ways of communication will help broaden your mindset when you're communicating, and that these processes of thought in giving a speech or communicating your thoughts and ideas are strategies that will help you broaden and continue to make you a better speaker, a better communicator. Hey, listen, have a great day. This is Dr. Wayne saying that you got what it takes. Have a great day, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.